Hello everyone, welcome to Learn Then Code. So today we have a very special guest with us, Kanishka, who is a career counselor and strategic marketer. So how are you doing, Kanishka?
Very well. Thank you so much for inviting me and having me here, Rishika. Means a lot. Thank you for thinking of me, and I'm really excited for this podcast.
Thank you so much, Kanishka, for giving us your time. So, as we all know, how important career counseling is in these days, especially to understand that what career you should choose and how you can pursue it. So, definitely, this podcast is going to be really useful for all my viewers. And I'm welcoming Kanishka with us. And yeah, I'm super excited to have a podcast with you. So, why don't you give a brief introduction about yourself, Kanishka?
Okay, so when it comes to my introduction, I have multiple introductions. It's like when it comes to say multiple personalities. That's when I decide where and when to give that introduction. Since you've spoken to me about career counseling, I'll just cut to the part as to how did I pursue and how did I choose career counseling overall. So I remember, like, after my 12th grade, as usual, every parent, overachiever child, 90% in 12th standard, expects my parents expected me to do engineering as well, and they were very adamant about it. And उनका इतनी जिद थी कि नहीं, if you're doing engineering, you're not going to go to a different city, नासिक में ही करना है. And I was like, ऐसे कैसे? एक तो engineering करवा रहे हो, ऊपर से जगह भी खुद ही choose कर रहे हो, ये तो नहीं होगा भाई. So every 18-year-old is like, parents हमारे enemies है, they don't want us to do this, they're that. तो मैंने भी एक षड्यंत्र रचा, and मैंने कैप राउंड में कोई भी कॉलेज नासिक का नहीं डाला. सारे कॉलेजेस नासिक के बाहर थे. एंड माय पेरेंट्स आर आल्सो, पेरेंट्स हम शेर, पेरेंट्स हवा शेर. पेरेंट्स गए नासिक में बेस्ट कॉलेज में, एंड दे आर लाइक, मेरी बेटी को एडमिशन लेना है. 6th कैप राउंड, सिर्फ मेरे टाइम पे 6th कैप राउंड था, बिकॉज कैप राउंड जस्ट स्टार्ट हुआ था. सो दे वेंट अहेड एंड दे आर लाइक कि लेकिन आपके लिस्ट में तो हमारा नाम है ही नहीं के वाक का. सो दे आर लाइक, हाँ वो एक्चुअली मेरी बेटी ने डाला नहीं. तो दे बोला ठीक है, लेकिन अभी सिर्फ प्रोडक्शन और ENTC बचे. So my mom called me. It's 10 a.m. in the morning and I'm literally sleeping. My mom calls me and I pick up and मैं full चिड़ी हुई हूँ ऐसे भी, because क्या कर रहे हो मेरे लाइफ के साथ. मैंने इतनी अच्छी पढ़ाई की. I was in Maharashtra's #1 day-cum boarding school. I was the head girl. I'm the topper and everything. And how can you expect me just to be here in a college in Nasik? So वो ईगो पे भी बात आ जाती है ना थोड़ी. तो फिर मम्मा ने कॉल करके पूछा कि कौन सी ब्रांच चाहिए. I said, आपको एडमिशन करवाना है ना इंजीनियरिंग में, ले लो कोई भी, मुझे क्यों पूछते हो. सो you won't even believe, Rishika, till my first day of my college in engineering, I didn't even know मेरी branch कौन सी है. I called my mom and then I went and I searched for ENTC and I went and I sat in that department. So मेरा engineering का admission ऐसे हुआ है. So I've had a pretty turbulent life in my career, and that is the reason I chose to do something like this. But then of course, you learn, and I am of a firm believer कि just because life throws something at you doesn't mean that you run away from it. You face it.
Definitely.
And but मुझे मामा पापा को तो सबक सिखाना था, तो I engineering में तो ईयर ड्रॉप लाके ही रहूंगी. And but I was a very I was very fond of Shakespeare and arts, so I wanted to do my arts degree as well. And I went ahead and I found a way out to do both the degrees together. So I'm a double degree holder. In the same time of when I did my engineering, I did my arts. So yeah, I was saying mama papa ko to sabak sikhana hai. So I went ahead and I was like, engineering में ईयर ड्रॉप लाना पड़ेगा और आर्ट्स में तो डिस्टिंक्शन लाके दिखाना पड़ेगा, so that मम्मा पापा को भी समझे कि देखा आपने मुझे गलत चॉइस डाला है. But definitely God has different plans for you, and I cleared my engineering with distinction. And while I also applied for a patent for the last year ka project that I had, surprisingly that I just found a way out to it. But मेरे arts के last year में I forgot to fill my exam form. Like, what could be worse? Something that I love, I forgot to fill my exam form.
Okay.
And I went ahead and I was like, no bro, this is not done. I have to figure some way out. You can't deal with this like this. But parents were definitely very supportive. I went ahead and I searched for something, and in that 6 months of my backlog in my arts degree is the time I did my career counseling. I realized therapy is not for me. So I also had my arts and my psychology. So मेरे arts में English and psychology था options. So in psychology, I went ahead and I pursued career counseling as a specialization thing. And since then, there's no looking back. Now I'm pursuing my MA while I'm handling my business. And let's see where life takes me now.
Oh man, you have done so much. Like, I didn't know about all these things before when I met you. So you right now have 2 degrees already, and
2 degrees,
totally,
three
yeah,
major certifications, one master degree certification, and I'm doing a
God.
master's right now. Yeah.
And both the degrees are so different from each other. One is engineering and second is in art and psychology, career counseling, and all these things. So at one point you were handling so many things together. So I just wanted to ask how you are able to do all such multitasking at the same time.
Right. So before I answer this, I really want to come to before I answer this question, I really want to come to the part of explaining the difference between multitasking and micromanaging. So,
Okay.
multitasking क्या होता है कि तुम बहुत सारी चीजें लाइफ में एक साथ कर रहे हो, but your focus at one time is on that one thing only. For example, if I'm
Right.
studying for my engineering, I'm only studying for my engineering in that time slot. माइक्रो मैनेजिंग मतलब मैं एक ही टाइम पे 2 चीजें कर रही हूँ. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं असाइनमेंट्स भी लिख रही हूँ और मैं गाने भी सुन रही हूँ. So I don't micromanage, I multitask. To multitask, all you need is time management. And mera
Right.
time management, I feel that I've done that pretty well in the past years altogether. Coming to the point where I explain how did I actually do this. In my college itself, my mom, bachpan se, I think it's because of what my parents pushed me into, they've always put me into different activities. So I knew for a fact that अगर मैं 2 बजे स्कूल से घर आ रही हूँ तो मुझे आधे घंटे में खाना खा के 2:30 कुछ ना कुछ एक्टिविटी के लिए जाना है, be it drawing
Right.
class, be it Bharatnatyam, be it something or the other. So there's nothing that my parents have not given me or made it accessible to me, even though I stay in Devlali, and Devlali is like a small hill station. यहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीजें अवेलेबल नहीं है. When I entered my 7th 8th grade, they made sure that they sent me to Nasik, which is like an hour far from where I stay. And they made sure कि मैं मेरा पूरा वहाँ पे फिनिश कर रही हूँ जो भी मुझे accessible देवलाली में नहीं है. So I knew कि मुझे ये टाइम पे ये चीज पे फोकस करना है. So that's why I know that I multitask, but I don't micromanage. So I know for a period of time I was micromanaging in my engineering. जब मैं गाने सुनती थी वही टाइम पे, movies देखती थी, and I used to write my assignments, and it used to hamper me because exam के टाइम पे pressure आता था. So I feel after my 12th, it was pretty easy to understand because I knew engineering तो करना नहीं है. Starting के 6 महीने तो मैं washroom में जा के रोती थी. Till date, one friend who I used to share it with keeps taunting me कि I hope अभी washroom में जाके रो नहीं रही है. तो जब मैं engineering में थी, I didn't even, so for anyone who's listening to me and knows what engineering is all about, you get admitted in engineering. तुमको स्टार्टिंग के 3 हफ्ते तो फ्रेंड्स ढूंढने में, सब कुछ कॉलेज समझने में, बिल्डिंग समझने में चला जाता है. उसके नेक्स्ट 3 हफ्ते यू आर ट्राइंग टू फिगर आउट तुम्हारा सिलेबस क्या है, एंड एज सून एज दैट हैपेंस 6 वीक्स के अंदर ही तुम्हारे एग्जाम्स आ जाते हैं. सो यू डोंट नो ओ शिट व्हाट हिट अस, अब भी तो इंजीनियरिंग में गए थे यार. सो आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट हैपेंड टू मी, एंड आई वाज लाइक ब्रो आई डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू. एंड इट्स लाइक आई वाज स्टिल फिगरिंग आउट. I realized कि मेरे first sem में मुझे distinction आ गया, and I'm looking, I saw my results and I'm like, I don't know कैसे आ गया, like just आ गया, because I was in an ISC board जहाँ पे physics का chemistry का बहुत deep में syllabus है, because of which मेरा first year is the same as what I learned in my 12th grade. And उस टाइम से ही मुझे समझ गया था कि नहीं यार, ये इंजीनियरिंग से तो मेरी लाइफ कहीं नया नहीं लगने वाली है. और मेरी जो आर्ट्स डिग्री है वो ईयरली थी, तो मुझे मालूम था कि मुझे जैन के बाद ही असाइनमेंट्स एंड ऑल सबमिट करने. तो आई हैड अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम टू फिगर आउट व्हाट टू डू, एंड आई थिंक people listening also have a lot of time to do, but the only thing is they're like, हम engineering कर रहे हैं, हमारे पास time नहीं है type. So I used to put myself into activities like, so I'll tell you how I made first friends in my college. They were my seniors. तो मैं कॉलेज में अकेली घूमती थी, एंड मेरा कॉलेज इज लाइक अ पेंटागन और हेक्सागन स्टाइल ऐसा, तो इट्स नॉट स्ट्रेट बिल्डिंग्स. तुम एक स्टेप से निकल रहे हो तो तुम दूसरी जगह पे तुम घूम जाओगे, लाइक यू लिटरली you'll be like, कौन सा भूल भुलैया में आ गए. Very difficult to figure my college out, and it takes a year for anyone to figure KK का structure out that way. तो मैं कॉलेज में ऐसे ही घूमती थी to find कि how can I get myself into activities, because from Lucknow, Allahabad to Chennai, मैं मेरे स्कूल के तरफ से I have represented my school in so many places, so many competitions, and all funded by school. So I was like, यार ये कॉलेज में मिलेगा क्या? So I went ahead and I was looking for something. तो एक दीदी और एक भैया बैठे थे टेबल चेयर पे. मैंने बोला, आप कुछ रजिस्ट्रेशन करवा रहे हो इधर? and they both look at each other and they're like, nahi hum assignments kar rahe hain. And then I started talking to them. They became my first friends. Till date we are in touch with each other. Just yesterday she messaged. She is studying in Northeastern University in US right now. So since then I was like, I asked them कि मैं कहाँ से participate करूँ, and मैं बहुत frustrate हो गई थी because मुझे competitions चाहिए. I've been a co-curricular person. So they said कि आपको कोई भी wall पे दिख जाएंगे posters. I'm like, ऐसे कैसे कोई भी wall पे दिख जाएंगे posters? कुछ ये नहीं है क्या? So they're like, देखो ground floor और first floor के बीच में जहाँ पे आप चढ़ते हो तो वहाँ पे एक आपको wall दिखेगी. Like very vague. तो मैं ऐसे like ऐसे उल्लू कैसे देखते I used to literally walk like that. And the reason I'm telling you all of these details is कि एक बार मुझे एक लड़के का इंस्टा पे मैसेज आया. They find like she's someone different and everything. एक मैसेज आया कि are you the same girl who has her eyes wide open and skips one step and walks? So मुझे ना steps चलने की आदत नहीं है. know एक step चलने. So this was something that became very popular in first year. And मैंने ढूंढा एक पोस्टर था, पोस्टर कंपटीशन. तो I'll tell you the reason how I multitask after this. So poster competition, नाम था Darshan Rajput. The reason why I'm taking his name is because today he has a channel which has over 1 million subscribers. The name is Manufacturer's Guide on YouTube. So नाम था Darshan Rajput. And I was like, I called him. Number रहता है, I called him. कोई उठा नहीं रहा है. वो lectures and all में होते होंगे, right? कोई उठा नहीं रहा है. फिर एक बार वो some random person सामने से आ रहा था, and he's very smart, okay? He's 2 साल senior, super good looking and all. मैं मेरी classmates के साथ, they're like, यार देख रहे हैं लड़का कितना smart है. मतलब होगा, big deal. I'm not interested, I'm very ऐसा this thing अपने काम से काम. तो like अच्छा ठीक है. फिर दूसरी ने बोला उसका नाम मालूम है, दर्शन राजपूत है. मेरी ऐसे ना ये हुई, यही है. मैं बोला ये है, ठीक है. फिर मैंने सोचा, मैंने बोला तेरे को बात करना है उससे? तो बोली कि हाँ करना है. बोला जा कर. तो बोलती है नहीं यार ऐसे थोड़ी अच्छा लगता है. बोला ठीक है मैं करवाती हूँ. He was coming like this. हम ऐसे जा रहे थे और मैं literally road cross करके like walk कर दे उसके सामने, and I'm like, if you cannot handle any competition in college, better tell us to do it. हम कर लेंगे. And I am full like frustration उस पे निकाला है मैंने. But definitely Darshan bhai became my best brother overall in my full engineering life. For 2 years protected me like a younger sister, and then I was like, by the way, these are my friends. Then he said, calm down, मैं help करता हूँ. And then I got into a lot of competitions in college. First semester अच्छा गया. Second semester college politics, when you're good in college and everything. And I wanted to enroll for a very good competition which is on a national level through my college, but जो ma'am थी उनकी बेटी was competing against me. So I faced that politics because of which I couldn't do it. But I think that was the turning point in my life, that I fought so much that I went outside my college and started looking for opportunities. That's how I got connected to so many people. I went to radio stations. I understood from a digital marketer कि digital marketing क्या होती है back in 2017, जब digital marketing was not even a thing. Right. I think these politics and this situation of my first year of college, जहाँ पे मैं बहुत रोई हूँ to an extent कि मैं literally floor पे रो के पेट पकड़ के रोती थी. When I lost a competition because of politics, my friends used to call and tell me, are you okay? Can we come to meet you? I said, don't come to meet me. I'm not in a state of mind. But I think that's what happened. Second year, I started my own firm with a friend, a photography firm. And it was sure that his dad has a multi-crore business. So his dad is like, you can't let my son do photography when we have a business to handle. He is the president of Builders Association of India, in the Nasik sector. So you can imagine कि उनके dad को कितना fear होगा. हमारा बेटा अगर ये छोड़ के चला गया, एक लौता बेटा है, who's going to take care of this? So I was like, no, you can trust me for it. I know for a fact that having a hobby and making sure that outside college life you do something, it increases your productivity, because मेरी पूरी life वैसी थी. So मुझे ये मालूम था कि responsibility मेरी नहीं है, मेरे friend की भी मेरे पे ही है. You won't believe उसको 3 semesters तक backlog लगते थे. जैसे he started pursuing his hobby, all clear. and I know this is something that I want to put out to all of you people. Abhi tak maine jitna bhi bola, that make opportunities for yourself, don't limit yourself. And the second thing is that you need to understand that you have to be responsible while you're pursuing your career, and make sure to pursue your hobbies, which is very important. So tab se mera journey of actual multitasking outside college start hua. कॉलेज आवर्स में पूरी मेहनत करो. जैसे लेक्चर खत्म हुआ, मुझे आज तक मेरे क्लासमेट्स बोलते हैं यार तू तो ब्रेक स्टार्ट होते साथ 1 मिनट भी रुकती नहीं थी. बिकॉज आई हैड लिमिटेड टाइम. 45 मिनट में बाहर जाके जेरोक्स करके लाऊं, ये भी करूं वो भी करूं, सब कुछ वॉक करूं एंड ऑल. एंड लाइक वॉक करते करते आई हैड टू फिनिश ऑल ऑफ दीस थिंग्स. कॉलेज खत्म हुआ कि नहीं, वी यूज्ड टू गेट ऑन द बाइक आउट, go shoot, do what we have to do, come back home, go again for my UPSC classes. This is a whole altogether disastrous story, which I'll definitely talk about sometime later. So तब मेरा वो start हुआ, and I had to make sure that वो फ्रेंड के फैमिली में भी कुछ चीज हैम्पर ना हो दैट वे. तो मेरा वो चीज था कि अगर मैं वो टाइम पे कुछ वो चीज में हूँ, एंड इफ समबडी कम्स एंड आस्क्स मी अबाउट कॉलेज, आई एम लाइक दिस इज नॉट द टाइम. तो यू नो ये जो मीम अभी फेमस हुआ है ना कि ये टाइम है कोई बात करने का, नहीं आप बताइए ये टाइम है कोई बात करने का. आई थिंक आई हैव बीन डूइंग दैट सिंस अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम कि लाइक ये टाइम पे ये चीज है तो यही चीज करना है. And I think it has taken me a long way. जैसे कि for example, right now, if I am with you in the podcast, then no matter what happens, I will not go ahead and do something else because this time belongs to you. So when somebody is multitasking or doing a lot of things, lot of interests, I feel you should not feel bad for having so many interests if you know how to multitask, because in the end, if you're really good at what you do, then the word for you is actually multi-potential. Like you have a lot of potential in you that way.
Like Kanishka, I can resonate with you on so many points. Like even my friends used to ask me that Rishika, तू कैसे इतना handle करती है? Just after your office hours, तू कुछ ना कुछ करने लग जाती है, या तो videos create करती है, या drawing करती है. I love digital art, so मैं उसमें अपना time देती हूँ. या फिर music, I really like music, so I used to learn guitar या फिर piano या कुछ भी. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि ऑफिस आवर्स खत्म हो जाए तो मेरी पूरी एनर्जी ड्रेन हो चुकी है और मेरे पास कुछ नहीं बचा करने को. एंड आई एम लाइक just after my office hours मुझे कुछ ना कुछ करना है. Even lunch break में यार कुछ ना कुछ करना है. And I think this energy comes from the fact that I genuinely like doing those things. जब कोई hobbies होती है, one is your passion and one is your hobbies. So if you're pursuing your passion, that is in my case software engineering, software development, so वहाँ पे भी मेरा time utilize होता है, but it does not mean कि मैं अपने hobbies को time नहीं दे सकती.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. And handling both the things together is actually multitasking, as you already said. It's not about कि आप एक ही time पे दो काम कर रहे हो. I am like जब मैं अपना डेवलपमेंट करूंगी तो खाली डेवलपमेंट कर रही हूँ, बट इट डज नॉट मीन कि जब मेरा डेवलपमेंट खत्म हो गया तो मेरी सारी एनर्जी खत्म हो गई और हॉबीज के लिए कुछ बचा ही नहीं.
Right.
So my next question is for the students who wants to, have some career counseling sessions. So I wanted to ask what a real career counseling session looks like.
Right, that's an amazing question. So first thing is that I want people to go and research the difference between counselor, coaches, and consultants. So one thing that I'm a counselor because I've done my psychology, which involves a bit of psychological thinking, knowing your triggers, knowing your traumas, how not to choose a field which will actually go and trigger what you've already had in your life. So what I do is basically this. It involves a little bit of psychology aspect to it. On the other hand, when you go to coaches and everyone, so unke pattern will be different. So now career counselors में भी बहुत types होते हैं. जैसे somebody is actually a study abroad counselor. That's actually a consultant. Now what happens at a study abroad counselor is they guide you कि how can you go to a different country, and they eventually tie up with different universities there because it's easier for students to send them there. I don't do that. So I help people strategically plan their career, understand what you're good at, what you're not good at, and then make a plan of action. So I help them make a plan of action for next 15 days, 1 month, and then 3 months. So this is the minimum that I do, because then उसके बाद they're like, but हमने तो आपको ये भी बात बताया, आपने हमको बताया ही नहीं. I'm like, ये मैं आपको अभी नहीं बता सकती because ये वाला 6 months बाद आएगा. So there are a lot of things which I don't tell in my counseling session because they like it, no? फिर वो 6 महीने का गोल ही सोचते हैं, बीच का पार्ट चला जाता है. So if you ask me how does a counseling session look like, it starts with an introduction. I get to know the person, they tell me everything about themselves. Now this is the difference between someone who knows, has researched, and someone who doesn't know. I'll be very honest. So I had a conversation with Prakhar, and because Prakhar is studying psychology, I wanted to know that what is wrong with me, because I've taken therapy, I've spoken to a few people, but जब मैं उनसे सुनती हूँ ना, तो so in therapy हमको सिखाया जाता है that you have to tone down your voice, you have to talk to them in the way, Kanishka, please tell me what is wrong with you. And being a psychologist myself, मुझे समझ में आता है that this is not you, यार, this is made up. But when I spoke to Prakhar was like, bro, jaldi bata. And then when I started my story, he's like, देख, कभी कभी स्टोरी टेलिंग में ना हम इतना घुस जाते हैं कि तू irrelevant चीजें भी बताएगी, to the point रहे. And I wanted that, you see that vibe that you get, because मुझे already मालूम था. And I'm like, listen, I am a psychologist too, and I know मैंने pointers लिखे, मुझे सिर्फ क्या बताना है. So the stories are like to the point as such. And this is what happens when I've seen amazing students do their research कि उनको क्या पसंद है, कौन से यूनिवर्सिटीज चूज किया है, कौन सा करियर पाथ चूज किया है, and they come and tell me the exact pain points, and then I'm like, dude, this is amazing, let's just go ahead. I think half an hour से ज़्यादा time उसमें चले जाता है to get the questions out of them. Some people don't know, so I'm asking them, where are you from, what do you do, how was your school life, what is your dad's financial status, what is your family's background, what does your dad do, because these are very important in your career. Sometimes some people feel कि why is Kanishka asking about a personal life, but they don't understand that career में सब affect होता है. Like, come on, it's like 70%, more than 70% of your life revolves around your career. That way, like, तुम मिलोगे तो लोग तुमको तुम्हारे हालत से ज़्यादा पूछे कि तुम क्या कर रहे हो. That way, so it's so crucial. ये सब पूछने में जाता है. So once I get to know the person, I take like a while, probably 2-3 minutes. तभी मैं process करती हूँ. I make like a whole sheet to understand what that person can do. I tell them to focus on the next 15 days and come back to me. So once they sign up with me, it's like एक session का उनको जो pay करना है, that involves a lifetime support system. That means they can message me and ask me whatever doubt possible. So I send them voice notes to clear their doubts. But if they want a major decision change, for example, career change हो गया, या अभी new college में admission लेना है, तो मैं सही कर रहा हूँ या नहीं, that के लिए I take a follow-up session. So when people say Kanishka charges so much, it's because it includes a lifetime support for it. So when they come to me, so I tell them कि 15 days बाद मुझे तुम्हारा research चाहिए, then 1 month बाद मुझे research चाहिए, and then 3 months बाद research चाहिए. So technically मेरा follow-up session 3 months बाद ही होता है लोगों के साथ, because I'm pretty open to replying on WhatsApp. मेरा convenient, तुम्हारा convenient. Because उस time पे I also need time to research. Another thing is, Rishika, the reason why I did a second master certification program in career counseling was because you have self-doubts as a career counselor. See, I was very young when I got into it. I finished my certification even before I completed my engineering. So, तुम्हारे mind में वो चीज होता है कि am I equipped to do this? Am I really good at it? So, when I counseled the first 54 students, तो उसमें से 2 students थे जिनको मुझे बोलना पड़ा that I'll research and get back to you. तो मुझे वो अच्छा नहीं लगा. So I paid like a hefty amount to do another certification course. Same चीज सिखाया जो मैं कर रही थी. In fact, I felt like I counsel better. But the 5th day, मुझे एक चीज समझा जो मैम ने बोलते बोलते एक चीज बोल दी. And I was doing this while I was working in a government job. I don't know if I told you I had a government job which I left to do this full time. So वो मैम ने एक चीज बोला that you people need to remember that you are humans. Even if you're a career counselor, it's not possible to consume everything that's on the internet. And कभी कभी अगर career counseling session में आपने बोल भी दिया कि I'll research and get back to you, that is honest and better, because it's better to give correct information rather than give vague information in the counseling session. I think that gave me the ultimatum, because I knew my counseling sessions were good. And अगर सच में this is true, and I think that just gave me the confidence कि it's okay that I'll say that I'll research and get back. And I think that is when I included the lifetime support system, saying कि कुछ भी पूछना है, it gives me a little bit of chance to go ahead and find more people. Because I just don't rely on internet. I go and rely on people जो already वो चीज कर रहे हैं. So I feel it's been amazing, and it's nothing. It's just talking to a friend the way you talk to. That's the whole form of counseling sessions.
Yeah, it's so beautiful how you describe it, and I can totally relate with it. It's all counseling. It's all about how you are able to connect with the other person, right? And if it is vague, or if it is fake, or if you are trying to be someone else, then वो connect होगा ही नहीं, right? So it's better अगर आप जैसे हो वैसे ही questions पूछो, and to the point बात हो, so that एक रियल पॉइंट पर, एक रियल कंक्लूजन पर बोथ एंड आ पाए एक साथ. एंड वन
Right.
थिंग दैट आई रियली लाइक इज जो आपने बोला कि इट्स बेटर टू गिव राइट information than vague, because career counseling is such an important part in all of our life, कि उसमें हम कोई भी रॉन्ग डिसीजन या फिर कोई भी वेगनेस, तो ऐसा है कि यार दिस इज द लास्ट थिंग जो होनी चाहिए हमारे साथ. सो
Right.
इट्स बेटर कि हम पहले रिसर्च कर लें एंड उसके बाद किसी को एडवाइस दें. एंड या आई टोटली एग्री विद द अदर पॉइंट यू मेंशन कि इस टाइम पे स्पेशली कोविड के बाद तो ऐसा है कि वी ऑल आर कंज्यूमिंग सो मच कंटेंट दैट इज अवेलेबल ऑनलाइन, एंड उसकी
Right.
वजह से वी आर फीलिंग फोमो, फीलिंग ऑफ लेफ्ट आउट, feeling of missing out and inferiority complex, all these things. So do you feel, और आपको जो अभी customers आ रहे हैं, do you feel कि उनके cases में these feelings are more important while they are choosing their career, या फिर ऐसा पहले भी होता था?
I think it's always been there. I think online has just accelerated it. Like just 2 days ago, I got a call from, not a call, I got a message, because I prefer messages to reply to. Normally I reply in like 2 working days because बहुत सारे messages होते हैं, but मुझे उसका रात को message आया and she told me that my dad wants to talk to you about my brother. So jiska I had taken a counseling session. I replied to her within half an hour and I told her, yeah, sure, let's set it up tomorrow itself. Like she was like, you sure you'll have time? I said sure, because मैं parents से बात करने के लिए ना कभी मना नहीं करती हूँ that way. तो उसका career option, like I won't get into details as of now, but when I spoke to his dad was not wrong. And एक ना family drama हो गया in that counseling session, because the daughter is saying something, son is saying something, and the reason why that boy was not choosing what I was telling him to choose, it's because उसके friends वो चीज नहीं choose करेंगे, but उसकी skill set उस चीज में है. And then I had to figure some other way out, because I had to make the parent happy, I had to make the child happy, I had to make sure that his skill sets are also working out. So he wanted to do film scoring, but his dad was like, engineering is a safer option. Like he wanted to get into films, he loves making music. So I said, do audio engineering. Simple as that. It's engineering and it's audio. But then he's like, मेरे friends नहीं करेंगे वो. You understand that that's the kind of FOMO internet has created, because they'll all go, they'll enjoy. पूरा 11th and 12th उसने वो enjoy किया है. But then you have to understand that it's not even their fault. मुझे होता है FOMO. I'm pretty sure you would be getting that too. Like when I am something and अभी जैसे Twitter had become very addictive, तो मैं 2 दिन नहीं यूज कर पाई. मुझे भी दिमाग में हो रहा था यार क्या हो रहा होगा अभी ट्विटर पे, if I'm not able to go. But I'm very adamant कि समझो मैं अगर मीटिंग में हूँ या रात को मैं कुछ और काम कर रही हूँ, मैं ट्विटर नहीं तो नहीं खोलूंगी, चाहे फिर वो कितना भी मुझे ये करे. तो FOMO can't overpower me. And definitely I think career में it plays such an important role, because it depends on so many factors: your location, the college, the people you're with. Because online is a fake world, honestly. Like the reason I've had so many misunderstandings with my friends when I was starting out as a creator is because I understood how to be a creator. So even if there's a bad situation happening, for example, for example, if I was in the Nasik's court the other day, so I put, not everyone can reach the place where I was. I put up a story and said, look where I am today. Okay. So for people, they're like, wow, how did you get inside? Now how do they know कि मुझ पे legal action हो रहा था? You see the thing. तो my friends are like, तेरी life तो मजे चल रही है. मतलब तुमको मालूम है क्या चल रही है? तुमको मालूम है मैं उधर क्यों गई थी? So it's very half-baked information online, because of which people be like, यार कनिष्का तो कितने levels तक पहुंच गई. जैसे for example, I'll literally admit this openly here. I went to Dr. Sid Bhargav's party on his birthday. And I met like so many people. I met Unacademy, I met Viraj Galani, and बाकी सब तो clients ही थे, but I met all of these people. I clicked pictures and I posted. So at the same time, I went to meet Abhi and New at their house also and everything. So for people, they're like, you're going places, yaar Kanishka, it is so cool and all. ठीक है, I did. I'm not denying the fact. And online सब अच्छा देखा था. But somebody should go and ask Dr. Sid कि जब कनिष्का आई थी, I am such an extrovert. In spite of that, मैं कोने में जाके अकेले बैठी थी and I was feeling so nervous. Nobody would know that, right? So doctor said, I मेरा हाथ पकड़ा, बोला चल तेरे को मिलाता हूँ सबसे. And after half an hour, 1 hour, I started becoming comfortable because it was new for me. So I feel, to all the people listening to this, you all need to know that this FOMO is a really big thing. But once you get the taste of what you're thinking you're missing out, you'll feel happy that you're missing out. So anything that is basic will never give you FOMO, but I think that is the best thing that can give you an adrenaline. Other than that, if you feel like it's a major thing happening and it's a FOMO, and just one more last thing. So there was a very big party in Nasik here. And due to some reason, of course, one reason was my fracture, that I couldn't go and everything. And I was feeling like super FOMO, ki yaar, what are these people doing and all that way. Jiski party thi, the owner, of course, there was a person who arranged it, and jiski party thi, that owner called me 3 days ago and she was like, Kanishka, I need your services. I said, I'm overbooked, I can't. And then she broke down and she started bitching about all the people who she worked with that day. And she spoke about how much she had to spend for that and she didn't want to. So, and I was like, oh shit, that's so good. I didn't go for that party, you know. I think if you ever feel that you're missing out, think of the worst situation the grapes are sour, because it not just makes you feel better, but when you know the sad reality of it, you'll feel like, अच्छा हुआ मैं वहाँ पे नहीं थी. This has happened with me a lot of times, honestly.
Yeah, it happened with me also. Like, I totally agree with the fact that जो भी हम नेट पर देखते हैं, that is only half-baked information, and हमें the other side of reality वो कभी पता ही नहीं चलती, and that is not a fault of the creator or not the audience also, because of course as an creator हम सब कुछ online नहीं डाल सकते, we are humans, हम ऐसे अपनी life पूरी publicly showcase नहीं कर सकते, and that is why the audience who are looking at us, उन्हें हमारी real life के बारे में कोई idea नहीं होता, and they are like, यार इनकी life तो बहुत ही बढ़िया चल रही है, but ऐसा नहीं होता. So for example, like I am also very new to software development. मैंने अभी अपना career start किया with LinkedIn. So ये जो इन्फियोरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स वाला इशू है, ये मुझे भी कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है कि यार अभी आई एम नॉट यू नो expert in software development because I am junior developer right now. So it's quite normal ऐसा फील होना, because जितने भी सीनियर इंजीनियर्स हैं, of course वो कभी ना कभी अपनी लाइफ में मेरे पॉइंट पर रहे होंगे, and after a lot of practice, after a lot of experience वो वहाँ पहुँचे हैं जहाँ आज वो हैं. So it's completely fine to feel FOMO and you know inferior to something, but don't let that feeling overpower you.
Definitely.
Yeah. So like this is one thing that I practice. Obviously ये feeling सबको आती है, but one thing that I know is time के साथ हो जाएगा सब कुछ ठीक. मतलब ठीक है, if I want to try something new, तो मैं वो try करूँगी, but अगर उसमें मेरा interest नहीं आएगा, I will take my steps back. Right?
Definitely.
It's something like कि try करो, नहीं हुआ तो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. FOMO हुआ, तुम्हें लगा वो चीज करनी है तो तुमने करके देख ली, नहीं हुआ तो ठीक है, जो तुम कर रहे हो वो तो चल ही रहा है बढ़िया. So yeah, this is one thing that I practice in my life. But जो आपने चीजें बताई, I totally understand कि वो होता है reality में, and that is because the difference between the real world and the online world. So,
right.
Yeah. And one thing that you mentioned in your story is about networking and visibility. So as you already mentioned कि आपको इतने अच्छे लोगों के साथ मिलने को या network करने का chance मिला, जिससे of course growth में काफ़ी help होती है, because it's all about the people who surrounds you, उनकी energy कैसी है, vibes कैसी हैं, if they have the positive mindset, so उससे काफ़ी help होती है growth में. So what do you feel in today's generation, visibility and having a personal brand and networking with people कितना important है?
बहुत ज़्यादा. So I'll tell you a circle which I always keep on telling my clients. जैसे कि so when you want to be a creator, no, the circle for being a creator is growth and visibility, community, and then sales. So you have growth and visibility, growth, पूरा एक साथ आता है. You network, do whatever you want to. That's one factor of it. Next thing is you build a community out of it, and then you have sales. पहले before online ये उल्टा था कि पहले आप कोई बच्चे से पैसे लेते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ऋषिका आके मेरे कोचिंग क्लासेस पे एनरोल करती है, फिर वो एक उनके कम्युनिटी का पार्ट बनती है कि यार ये सर बहुत अच्छे थे, बहुत सिखाते हैं, अच्छा सिखाते हैं. वो पब्लिसिटी से फिर तुम्हारी ग्रोथ और विजिबिलिटी होती है, फिर तुम्हारा सेल्स होता है. ऑनलाइन ने ये पूरे सर्कल को उल्टा कर दिया है. एंड आई फील इट इज गुड बिकॉज इससे ट्रस्ट फैक्टर बढ़ता है, बिकॉज लोग तुमको बाद में पे करते हैं, राइट? That is why you see the ratio of people liking online is much better than people then समझो अगर 10 बच्चे हैं तो उसमें से तीन बच्चे वो टीचर को पसंद करेंगे, बट यहाँ पे 7 बच्चे 7 people like the person online and 3 people might dislike it. Like this has been the circle to it, right? Now growth and visibility matters so much because online ने ये circle पूरा change कर दिया. अगर आपका growth and visibility अच्छा नहीं है, ना आप community बना पाओगे, ना आप पैसे कमा पाओगे. So your networking should be that strong. It should be, I mean, it has definitely helped me a lot and I won't even kid. मैं मुंबई अभिमन्यु से मिलने नहीं गई थी, but when अभिमन्यु saw my story, they're like, hey, you're in Mumbai, let's catch up. It takes a lot of it takes a lot of courage. I feel it's courage. It takes a lot of, I mean, yeah, I doubt if I could have been that humble like them because they are like 2 million followers and I didn't even have 20,000 followers. So तुम्हें ऐसा लगता है ना कि यार me of course you feel like that no matter what, even if you're working with them. So and I remember the story of Abhi and you. मैं मेरी friend के terrace पे exercise कर रही थी. Stupid holidays, you know, you go to your friend like पतला होना है types. तो we were exercising and मैंने एक friend को 3 बार call किया था. उसका call back आया and I was like, bro, देख तेरी दोस्त ने ना अभी and you का interview किया है, मुझे connect करवा दे. तो then he was like, कनिष्का मैं ये नहीं कर सकता हूँ. And I was like, shit यार, ठीक है चल जाने वाला, देख होता है तो करवा दे, okay? And then I kept the call and Karina is like, she's my best friend and she's like, तूने मैसेज किया उनको? तो मैंने बोला नहीं. तो बोला फिर खुद से तो ट्राई कर. मैंने बोला वो किधर यार, they have like 7 lakh followers, why will they reply to me ऐसा. तो she was like, no harm in trying. And I think this is the biggest mistake that people do. They go to other people for them to network. They don't think कि हमारे अंदर कुछ capability होगी. तो I was so scared, Rishika, you won't even believe. हम एक normal message construct करते हैं किसी के लिए, right? Right. Yeah. It was 2 a.m. in the night and I just wrote a message. Hi Abhi and you, really love your work. Wanted to connect to you for an interview. एक line के messages भेज रही थी डर के. Half an hour में उनका message आ गया. And I was like, is this for real? Is this for real? Like
this is one of those moments.
I know, right? They're very humble and very kind, both of them, Abhi and you. But I think this is the biggest mistake that people do in networking. They feel कि these people are not accessible to us. Okay. Right. But again, I also feel कि हमने मालूम होना चाहिए कि हमारा level क्या है और हमने कितना ये करना चाहिए. So I remember when I was reaching out to people for my live interviews and I reached out to like really good people. बहुत अच्छे guests आ गए थे on board. 3 months बाद I started DMing Amitabh Bachchan, Kareena Kapoor.
Oh God.
Of course I'm not gonna get a reply from them, right? तो 1 महीना मेरे पास कोई guest नहीं था because मैं उनका reply का wait कर रही थी. And I was so sad. मेरे पास guest नहीं है and all. I told my friend and then he's like, अच्छा guest list दिखा. Guest list में शाहरुख खान, अमिताभ बच्चन, कपिल शर्मा, आलिया भट्ट सब हाँ. And he's like, he looks at me and he's like, ये क्या है? I'm like, guest list है. तो he's like, तूने इनको message किया? मैं बोला हाँ. तो बोला ये तेरे को reply करेंगे? मैं बोला अभी नहीं कर सकते तो वो लोग reply कर सकते, right? So you need to understand to what level when can you grow, okay? Right. And I think it's very, very important to go step by step. And I think that has helped me a lot. So the only tip for networking is go ahead, do it yourself and go step by step and have a strategic plan to do the same. That's all.
Right. So one thing that you mentioned about is cold emailing, right? That you message Abhi and you and then they replied. You frame a message, good message, that how they can collaborate with you, what kind of value they can add coming with you, collaborate with you, and you got a response. So that's the power of cold emailing that these days are very important, that if you want to collaborate with someone, even if you want some kind of mentorship from someone, then just add or just email them that what you want from them. And
definitely personalized cold email, cold message works amazing. Like if somebody messages me कि hey somebody समझ में आता है, एक personalized message कैसा और एक बना हुआ message कैसा है. तो I remember almost 3 weeks ago I got a mail from a girl stating her whole problem, that why she couldn't go abroad. She really wants to, she doesn't have the money and everything. And wo message padh ke na, I was like, she's literally like asked for help from me. And last में उसका ये था, like number था, and I was free for like next 15 minutes. Because it was personalized, I literally copied the number and I dialed her number. I called her.
Yeah.
And she picked up and I said, hey, hi, XYZ. And she's like, yes, who's this? I said, I'm Kanishka. And she's like, can you give me a second? And I'm like, okay. And she's like, hello, is this Kanishka Thakur? I said, yes. She's like, give me a moment. She's processing it, you know. But that one cold email gave me so much of insights from her end, that when I spoke to her on the call for a very long time, I understood all her situation and everything. Then she booked a call and we went on a call. I tried to help her the best, and she's still like, no way, no, you didn't call me, right?
You are someone else.
crazy power, definitely.
Yeah, so a few tips that I want to share to my viewers about cold emailing is to have a personalized message. First, you can go ahead with a brief introduction about yourself, and then you can give some brief about the kind of work you love about that particular person. For example, if you're following them on social media, or if you're following them, their blogs or newsletter, anything, then you can mention that why you find them valuable, and then you can go ahead with the need that you want, or whatever you want, like mentorship or collaboration or anything else. So this is the few tips that is working very well for me, and I would like to ask you also, Kanishka, what is your tips for the viewers on cold emailing?
Cold emailing, right? To be very honest, मुझे ये सब बिल्कुल भी नहीं मालूम था, because whenever I reached out to guests, no, तो मैंने बहुत बच्चे जैसे मैंने मैसेजेस किए स्टार्टिंग में. I literally been like, सर देखो ये मैं करती हूँ, आप प्लीज एक बार मेरे को चांस दे दो टाइप्स. I have also been in that situation जब हमें कुछ नहीं मालूम था, because to be very honest, Jessica, I told you I was preparing for UPSC. To get into a field like this, it was very new for me. Like I didn't know what a creator is until Abhi and you mentioned me in a story saying that there is this creator who's spreading career awareness, and I'm like, who creator? me. So फिर मैंने 6 months उसका research किया. But definitely the biggest person who has helped me to understand what cold emailing is Raj Shamani. And he was that person जिसके पास खुद के assistant होते हुए भी he was like, here you go, here's my number, hit me up, we'll chat. So I think having the most purest form of messaging has helped me a lot, because these people जिनको मैंने ऐसा message नहीं लिखा है ना, like एकदम फॉर्मल सा, उन्होंने मुझे मैसेजेस भेज के दे लाइक, यो ब्रो कम लेट्स चैट. But I figured the way out to cold email. I think one thing, as you said, is definitely correct, कि you talk just in one line about what you like of their work. Make it very specific कि आपको एक चीज कौन सी अच्छी लगी है. Next thing is you introduce yourself in the smallest way possible. And the most important thing is your mission. I think my mission was something that also made Ankur Wariku come on my this thing, saying कि I really want to make education available to India in any way possible. So I told them that I'm spreading career awareness, and I think this is a very noble cause. It's not just a normal podcast, but it's something that I genuinely want to do for India. That way. So I used to get replies to it. So सबसे ज़्यादा तुम्हारा mission होना चाहिए. You like about them 2 lines. In 2 lines का introduction, they don't want to know your story. Like they have seen so many stories on story.com and everything. Next is your motto. You tell them what needs to be done. For example, आपको कितना time देना पड़ेगा, कौन से platform पे देना पड़ेगा, what is the things required from their end. And the last thing is you have to tell them that what is in for them. Like these are the questions. If you want something to be changed in them, you tell them how would you want your personal brand to be portrayed on my podcast. Because I'll be very honest and I'll tell you here, when I reached out to Shashi Tharoor, I got a reply, okay? I reached out to Shashi Tharoor for one of my clients' podcast. मुझे उनके PA ने बस यही पूछा कि as a politician, if he comes on your podcast, what are you going to do? Not mine, like a very big creator. What are you going to do? So I spoke, I researched a lot about it. They said, आपके जो upcoming जो भी चीजें हैं, we can frame questions in that format, जिससे कि he can answer those and he can get goodwill in people in terms of that. And I think that is what these people don't want. You need to know तुम्हारा creator कौन है, तुम्हारा guest कौन है, whether it's a creator, whether it's a politician, whether it's anyone. And तुम्हें मालूम होना चाहिए उनको क्या चाहिए.
Right.
Yeah. The reason why I said to this podcast was because you said कि we'll talk about career. And we did, because I understood it's something for education. Now, what is my motto? To make education available to India. So any podcast that talks about this is, I'm more than welcome to do it. But someone who just comes and says that, hey, I want to invite you on my podcast, I've got these people previously, and आप भी चाहिए. So I'm not like a trophy wife कि हाँ ठीक है उनको लेके आ गए हो तो मुझे भी लेके आ जाओ. Any place that makes my vision accessible is someone who I'll go yes to. So I think you need to research a lot about the guest and understand कि उनका motto क्या है जिससे कि आपका motto match हो. That's all.
Definitely, it's about mapping your mission to the speaker's mission and vision. So yeah, I totally agree on that point.
And guys, please go check Newton School out.
Thank you so much. Yeah, actually Newton School is a platform. They also provide a great mentorship to you, and they also help you to get in the tech career. They will guide you in structuring your tech career. They will provide you content and all these things. So definitely you should check out Newton Schools.
Yes, and the reason why I'm saying this, guys, is not just because Newton has sponsored Rishika, but it's also because I heard the founder of Newton School have a conversation, that 15-minute conversation with Suhani on Suhani Shah's That's My Job season episode 10 if I'm not wrong. So I did hear him talk about his vision and everything, and I really loved it. I think it's not been long, it's just been 2 weeks पहले मैं रात को binge watch कर रही थी, and I heard him talk. So it's very nice. I think you all should check it out as well. And I am very firm as to what do I promote, and I think Newton School is one of them. Thank you so much.
It was great talking to you, Kanishka, and I learned so much from you about career counseling and how people these days decide their career paths and what kind of problem they face. So thank you so much for giving us your time. And
thank you, Rishika.
Yeah, have a nice day.
You too. Thank you for having me here. Take care.